Kenny, what's the best love letter you've ever gotten?
The best love
best
letter.
love letter.
I'd go into detail, but modesty forbids.
Let me tell you about a really great one that we got Friday.
That's right.
Valentine's Day morning. We got a letter from our close friends at the PMO saying that our FedRAMP High was officially approved, which is crazy when you consider the whole timeline of this thing, right? So we've talked about it on some other podcasts. August of last year, we lose a deal because they did not want to do a self-hosted deployment, and we were not FedRAMPed. And it was a good deal with a really cool company. So we were like, all right, let's go do our FedRAMP. And so we started the process. Technical work was done by mid-October. Started the audit. Audit went through the holidays. Come end of January, the auditor says, okay, we're submitting your readiness report and everything to the PMO. Review is going to take, 8 to 9 weeks to hear back. And then 2 weeks later, Valentine's Day morning, we get the email, everything's been approved, ready to go. Were you surprised?
Yeah, I was super excited, and I'm so pumped that, and it's a great accomplishment for the team, but not totally surprised, right? I don't really have anything profound to say here. This can be a simpler process than we make it. So what do we always preach? We always preach, hey, start with your data flows and what are the people, places, and things that surround the data flows at the very beginning. Literally, keep it so simple. And if it starts to look weird with these data flows, is it going in weird directions? You know exactly where you need to cut. And you can find out, hey, where am I touching things that aren't FedRAMP authorized? Are they FedRAMP authorized at the impact level that you want it to be at? If you can do that right at the very beginning, it can go much simpler. And so if your plan is right, then you execute the plan. Just execute the plan. And then if that's tied to a digital platform, I know a cool one that we got called Paramify, right? If you're tied to a digital platform, well, then your plan and your execution and your reporting is all tied together. Yeah. So I was very comfortable with the package, signing off on it. I was very comfortable with it. And if I'm comfortable, guess what? Well, the auditors, they're going to be comfortable too. And if the auditor's comfortable, then also the PMO is going to be comfortable. That's exactly how it played out. And I've seen this happen over and over and over throughout my career. The simpler you make it, the easier it is to get your arms around it and to feel comfort. And so that's what we're all about. Keep it simple.
Yeah, we see a lot of clients that think that they have to be, it's almost like they feel like if you get more wordy, it feels more legitimate. When in reality, like the greatest teachers always teach things in the simplest ways. And it's still clear, and it's still detailed, and it's still exact, but there's no fluff to it. It's just consistent, it's clear, it's accurate.
It's elegant.
Yeah. And this is also a huge shout out to our friends at PMO. Like I saw a statistic on LinkedIn, and we should put whoever posted this in the comments because I forget who it was, but shout out to them. But the PMO for the last however long there was a new package added to the marketplace every 15 days or so. And since like mid-January, it's like every day and a half.
So sick.
Packages are popping up on there. So FedRAMP is going to explode.
Exciting time.
Exciting times.
And that's really, really, really important for our federal government in general. And for companies, I think it is a great move for cybersecurity everywhere, right? And
that's the benefit of doing things like you're talking about from a framework that's very simple, very easy to do. Is security is the goal. Compliance is just an outcome. The goal is not the sticker. The goal is better security and protecting the data. And by making the compliance part of it easier to do and more accessible, it allows you to spend your time on actually having better security.
Absolutely. And that we preach that a lot. We preach it a lot. And that is exactly how it worked out for us too.
Do you feel validated a little bit?
Yeah, I totally feel validated.
I love it.
Right? Who was our team implementing security for Paramify? The best intern we could ever imagine, Isaac Tusher, part-time security engineer.
Brilliant.
He's brilliant. He's great. But his focus is security, right? And so he's focused on implementing things. then we had Brad as our kind of a VCSO role, part-time also. He's the best in the business. He's the best there is.
Legitimately.
But just really focused on implementing. And then Mike, our CTO, who is the best DevOps person that you'll ever know and the kindest person you'll ever know.
Yeah.
The best engineer you've ever met, and just subtract all the ego.
Yeah.
He's incredible. They're focused on implementing great security. And we tie that to Paramify. It's exactly the outcome you would expect.
Yeah.
It's there. It's already done. You don't need to go retrace and pick up the pencil and erase and all that stuff. No. No, it's just a continuous improvement.
Yeah. Which is awesome too, because there's this misconception out there that FedRAMP, because it's a lot. It's a lot to do. Like, it's a lot to go accomplish FedRAMP. And there's a misconception that means it has to be a really long period of time and really expensive and really soul-sucking and off and all these different things. It is hard, but it doesn't have to be crazy. Like, for us, what are we out of pocket on this, all said and done, on our FedRAMP?
Yeah, so I talked to Seth recently. So right now we're still under 300K, right?
Crazy.
It's crazy.
So even post full ATO will be under $500,000. Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's what we're on track to do, yeah.
Yeah, which is great, because we, like we were saying before, we want FedRAMP to be accessible.
Yep. Most of our costs are on tools, right? Obviously, for us, we're not going to charge ourselves for Paramify, but
so we had some cheat codes.
But it's going to be super reasonable for our partners as well, because we're not even a fraction of that, right?
Yeah.
For most, we're just a tiny fraction of that for most of our customers, right? So it really is making it more accessible, and we want to do that. FedRAMP is important. It's an important problem. Up until now, it's been really hard to serve up something so complex, right? But now we're changing all of that.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
I love it. So what's the hardest part been of getting FedRAMP then?
The hardest part of getting FedRAMP. I think, well, obviously, I just expressed that wasn't so bad. And I also expressed that I wasn't super surprised. What is hard is maintaining security, right? Security is doing the dishes. It's keeping on top of things. And so really quickly, if you've done a bad job at the very beginning, again, I'm going to say it again. What do I always say? Any math equation that starts wrong, that's going to end wrong. And so your math equation really starts with your submitted package. This is what it is. And if something's wrong in there, guess what? That's going to cause issues for you down the line. So really the hard thing is maintaining a good, strong security program and making sure that you're keeping up on things. Mm-hmm. Incidents, when you go through those incidents, and almost every major company does, those are incredibly challenging, right? And so it will be maintaining that status at FedRAMP High will be really the challenge, right?
Yeah. So what's the plan there?
Yeah, again, it is to keep it simple. Keep it as simple as possible and just keep executing the plan that you have and try to make it simpler and simpler. Can you take out a component? Can you take out an interconnection? Can you make it simpler?
Yeah.
I think that's what you want. You're going to evolve your program like that. And the threats and the risks that we face, those will get ever more complex. They're not going to get easier. We're further and further away from an easy button, right? So you need to have sophisticated strategy and execution.
Yeah.
Over the long term.
I love that. Yeah, totally true. And this has kind of been like the foundation of the whole Paramify platform has been keep it simple, be clear, be concise, and plan really well, do good execution, automate the reporting alongside all the security work. Mm-hmm. And same thing. So we have our Kanban tool launching, which we'll obviously be using to do our POAMs going forward.
Yeah, we're already doing it. Yep.
Yeah. And same idea, right? Mm-hmm. It's, we have these, dozens of reports coming in, and we'll talk more about this, but it's, we can simplify the data coming in. We can make it really easy to digest, make it really easy to get it in a workable form. We can automate spitting out the POAM. We can make really easy workflows to do remediation. And then it's back to, now that we're not spending all of this time having to manipulate spreadsheets, we can just do great security work, and this can automate the rest of it.
Yeah, it's really exciting.
It's
I
gonna be
am
awesome.
so proud of our team. Just work with some of the best people, and it's just a joy. I need to get some new shoes. I think I'm just gonna get tap shoes. I just feel like tap dancing to work all the time.
I love that.
It's so fun.
So we've talked a lot on, and we made some predictions on another video that we did about what we thought would happen with FedRAMP this year. And we obviously believe that the FedRAMP market's going to explode. And I think that's a good thing. Like you said, it's better security. It's such a well-designed program. So what would you say to a company, a cloud service provider out there that's deciding or is going to go do FedRAMP this year? Like, what would your advice be?
Yeah, my advice would be, I've said this before, right? Just because you don't do business with the federal government doesn't mean that you don't need FedRAMP, because our customers are all enterprise customers, almost all of them, right? And there's lots of little ones, but they're wanting to do deals with the federal government also. And so if they send things our way, guess what? We need to be FedRAMP compliant. So our first customers were not federal agencies, right? Our first customers were not that. We were trying to help them do business with federal agencies. And so everything's so interconnected. Don't just dismiss it, because it's really, really important. But the good news is that it's a lot more approachable today in 2025 than it was even last year or the year before.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's the call out, right? Like, you don't have to just assume it's impossible and dismiss it. Like, be open to it. There's a big opportunity there. The U.S. government's the biggest purchaser of software in the world. So there's a big opportunity there. The number of private clients that need you to be FedRAMP in order for them to use you is a big number. If you have anyone from the defense industrial base that needs to do CMMC, you have to be FedRAMP equivalent. So there's a lot there. And I think, if you have the right tools in place, and there's a lot of great tools out there, and obviously we're partial to Paramify, but there are great tools out there. But if you get good tools, and if you do it from a risk-based approach, then it is something that you can go accomplish and that can unlock a lot of opportunities for your business.
Yeah, well said. I have nothing further to add.
Well, congrats to the team. FedRAMP High.
Let's go.
It's awesome.
Let's ride.
Let's ride. Get high.
Armed and dangerous, ain't too many can bang with us. Straight up, we no angel dust. Label us notorious. Thug ass niggas that love